Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel or welcome to my channel if you are new here. So in today's video, I'm going to be attempting some viral coloring book techniques, and in today's video, I'm going to be using the Flower Girls coloring book by M's Drawings. I'll put the link for the coloring book in the description. Usually these videos use those cozy coloring books that are like all over TikTok and YouTube, but I wasn't going to buy another coloring book. I don't color very often. I have like 3 coloring books and most of them are empty, so I'll be using what I have. So I've been seeing these techniques for a couple years now actually. I've been seeing coloring book techniques, but I've never thought of trying them out myself. But recently, one of my favorite artists, Timidanto Art, did a video trying viral coloring book techniques. So I finally decided to try it myself. But yeah, it took a while for me to decide which drawing that I wanted to color because I color with markers in this book and some of the pages are stained. So of course I wanted to use one that was normal. But I eventually decided on this page, and before I start, I just took a picture of the page and placed it inside Clip Studio Paint. So I put it in Clip Studio Paint because I just really wanted to see some color experiments that I can go for, because yeah, I wasn't really sure what I was doing. This is my first time. So I'm just trying to see which color schemes can work and which way I can apply some of these techniques best, so well, it can look like a nice page. And eventually I came up with these 3 options. So I was struggling between choosing the pink and the green option actually. I really liked the green one, but I really liked the pink one as well. Even though I was leaning more towards the green one. So I asked some of my family members which one they preferred. Most of them said pink, but one person said green, and I also agreed in mine. So I decided that the only way to fully discover which one I actually like was to test it on the paper itself. So I flipped to the color test page and decided to test some of the colors that I would use to see how many shades of each I have and really the vibrancy and just what they would look like on the paper itself. And after just randomly testing some colors, I just decided to swatch the entire marker set because I thought it would be easier. This took a while, but I think it was worth doing it. So after I did that, I tested out the pink and green sparkles sequins that I would do for her top, and eventually I decided that I liked the pink one more. It gave me, well, honestly, the effect just looked nicer in pink, and the green was leaning away from what I actually wanted. I wanted some sort of neon green, but I couldn't figure out how to get it to look like that or which shade to use, so I decided on pink. And then off camera, I just colored the girl entirely. On this mini test version, I colored just to see what it would look like. I don't mind how messy it is. I messed up a lot of the color shades actually, so quite a few things will change, but generally this is what it's supposed to look like when it's done. So yes, now that all the testing is done, it's time to start coloring the actual page itself, which is quite big, quite intimidating, but we'll get through it. So I'm going to be coloring the girl with color pencils and not markers. As I was flipping through the sketchbook, you probably saw most of the drawings I had colored had the skin and hair colored with color pencils. And even the ones that were colored with markers, I didn't complete them. I really struggled to color skin with markers, so I just didn't want to risk it today. So I just decided to use color pencils and just do some simple shading on her skin. So yeah, I don't have a light source for this drawing or anything. I'm just putting shadows where I guess shadows would normally go. And let's do some simple shading. I spent like 30 minutes doing this anyway. So I guess it wasn't so simple. But anyway, once I'm done with the skin, I will move on to the sequin top. So after a while, the top is looking good so far. So I'm going to get started on her hair. I also don't color hair with markers. I honestly have a lot of trouble coloring people with markers in general. Really, this was just an experiment. I just really wanted to see if I could color her hair with markers, because I thought it would be more vibrant and it will match the top more, and it would just give that neon pink look if I used markers. So I decided to do that, and honestly, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think I'll start coloring hair with markers more often. Maybe eventually I'll get to skin, but for now, this is okay. Also, in the speed painting on Clip Studio, you might have seen that I was going to give the girl kind of tattoos, but honestly, I just didn't know what shape of tattoo to even give her. So I decided to leave it like this because I didn't want to risk ruining the coloring process. So yes. to start with the first coloring technique, which is to create kind of like a glowing object. So I'm going to be attempting it on this flower. After the first base color, you kind of create a gradient around the flower going from light to dark. I'm planning on doing a black background, so the dark colors at the edges I plan on blending into the black background. I actually kind of messed up the flower a bit because I added a dark color where the light color was supposed to go. I got confused. Either way, this isn't really my favorite. I did it twice as well on these two blue flowers that looked exactly the same, just to make it a bit consistent, coherent, connected. But we'll just move on to the next flower. So the next one is this embroidery technique. Honestly, I think this might be my second favorite. At first, I was kind of like worried about it because you're supposed to create these lines across the drawing, and the markers kept blending into each other, and after a while it seemed like my lines weren't very distinct. But once I added the white highlights and the effects with the black fine liner to kind of make it look more stitch-like, the effect really came to life. And yeah, I really enjoyed doing this one, and I think it looks really nice. So for the next one is going to be this neon tile. So for this one, you color it black first, and then you go over it with acrylic markers. But my acrylic markers, like I said earlier, are cheap and they are honestly lacking vibrancy if you start layering them on top of each other. Yeah, they mainly kind of just work. Maybe you should just use them by themselves on a clear white page or something. But yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. But then after that, you use a white gel pen and go over the green. And I think honestly, the white gel pen is saving the effect. But I think I like it better than the glow in the dark one. Honestly, since it's neon, I decided to add some glow on this one as well because it's neon, and just to sell the effects a bit more, so I added some glue in the same way that I did the previous glow in the dark one. The white highlight seems to be covering part of the green, but I think it's still okay. I think I prefer it to the regular glow in the dark one I just did. But yeah, I think I need new acrylic markers. Just acrylic markers are just so expensive, so I just got these ones. Anyway, moving on. So the final effect that we're going to be trying is the stained glass effect, and I think this is my favorite one. The effect just looks so nice, and I used it the most. I did it on this purple flower, and then I just really liked how it looked, so I did it on other flowers as well. So first, you're supposed to use a pencil and create a bunch of random lines in different directions. After that, you color it with a light base color, and once you get the light base color down, you use a black fine liner to go over the lines that you drew. And I think really, if you want, you can do the base color first, then put the pencil on top just in case, so the marker doesn't like hide the pencil line so you can see more clearly. But yes, after you use the fine liner to do that, then you start going in with darker shades of the base color just to create like a gradient and to make it more kind of more 3D, just to add shadows and depth really. And then once you're done, you can use a white gel pen to go over all the black lines and then add some highlights to the section to kind of just give it that shiny glass effect. And I think I'll definitely use this stained glass effect more often when I can. Yeah, I just really enjoy doing it, and the effect really comes through the most. So after the stained glass effect, I'm going to start filling out the rest of the page. For smaller flowers, I didn't want to do any effects, just wanted to keep it kind of simple. But last minute, I decided to add the neon glue to this small section of pink flowers over here because I wanted more pink flowers on the page. But honestly, I should have just colored them normally because I kind of ruined them. I don't know what I was thinking because like I enjoyed creating the neon effect, but it didn't even come through as much as I wanted it. So I don't know why I thought it would be a good idea to do it, especially on flowers this small. So yeah, I did it the exact same way. I tried to go over it with my pink acrylic marker, but the pink was appearing red. Honestly, yeah, I just need new acrylic markers because I don't understand what's going on anymore. Yeah, it's kind of messy and yeah, I should have just colored it normally. But either way, for the rest of the page, I just really tried to spread out the colors, just using the ones already on the page. So just blue, green, purple, yellow, and pink. And then I made some leaves green, and for the flowers that were green, I made the leaves pink. That's not realistic, but it doesn't matter. And then I added highlights to basically everything just to make sure they stand out because obviously I was planning on doing a black background. And then for the glowing parts, I used a gray to just go over them a bit just so that it looks like it's not just glowing, but it's glowing on black. It didn't dull them out too much, just to make it a bit darker. So yeah, I ran out of storage while coloring the black background, so I had to finish this off camera. But really, that's all I did. So let me know what you think of the page as a whole and what you think of each of the effects. Of course, Stained Glass is still my favorite. Again, the coloring book will be in the description. And thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and thank you for watching till the end. I hope you have a nice rest of your day, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye.